Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's episode we're going to look at our third series of list building with the different captains, and as I think you're probably expected, I'm going with the original captains first and we'll move on to Gardner Joe and Zuna a little bit later on. So for today that means Astra. So the first thing I want to do is just before we get started is just thank you all so much for watching. If you're enjoying this, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTube things that everyone always asks you to do. There's a Patreon in the description if you really want to support the channel, but the subscriptions mean the most to me. We're finally getting real drive on new players, and it's making a world difference to me and making me feel all the warm and fuzzy inside. We're now up to 290 subscribers, so thank you to every single one of you. The fact that people are tuning in and watching my videos means so much, so thank you for that. And now let's look at making a list. So, with Astra herself, the thing to bear in mind first of all is that what Astra does, there's two parts to it, but the main one that we're going to be working towards is Into the Breach, which is refreshing the attack, movement and abilities of the next allied crew Astra touches this turn. So we want things that have got real value out of attacking twice or moving twice. This is going to change in the experimental version, but it's not set in stone yet, so we still want to be doing this for now. And so finding things that you can double up with and make good value out of is a really good idea. So, in terms of crew, Deadeye and Maximus are absolute musts. They are so valuable in this list. Given that people like to play Taurian Guardian or Zuna or things like that, Deadeye being able to give 2 accuracy buffs in a turn is fantastic, and Maximus has the advantage of, because you have to touch with Astra's base to refresh, you can basically move, shoot someone, move back to Astra, refresh and then move out again. It just means that Astra doesn't have to be right next to someone to get the value out of that. Things like Axel Pyro don't work as well because those activations are so expensive, the movement doesn't quite work, and you get pinged back in a random direction, so that's not really going to do what we need. Broken Vengeance, on the other hand, will just a huge amount of damage, putting that out really quickly, and then things get a little bit interesting. So Ari is just a really solid unit at the moment, goes really well with Deadeye. Combining the two can pretty much shoot through a Taurian. Shooting twice gets 6 damage onto something, and then Hit and Run works for the same reason that Maximus does, and you'll notice that both ambush units really good, really useful units for positioning. So we're going to go with them, and then things start to get a little bit more debatable as to what the things are we want to do from here. So I'm not really fully decided. Tipu's obviously a fun one because everyone knows that double activating Tipu could be utterly nonsense if you get it right. Double activating Snareling to hold things in place could be good versus those other lists that have things like that. So I'm going to try Snareling to begin with. We probably need something defensive. I think Shrapnel's a good one. It's not overly defensive with only 6 health, but I think Shrapnel should do a good job. We've only got 7 crews, so we can actually fit a few more in here. Crash is incredible if you can double activate. It just is so much damage, so I'm going to put that in for the meantime, even though I'm not 100% convinced that that's right. I don't know if any of these 5 drops really jump out at me. Obviously Pacifier Oakley could be nice, flinging 2 things back up, so maybe we try that for the meantime. And then I think we just want one more 3 drop, because we've got Hit and Run Ari. Actually no, Hit and Run Ari and Snareling, that's pretty solid. We've got 1 4 drop, so maybe something around 2 or 4. Because at the moment it's only Broken Vengeance, so is there anything else that could be a really useful activation at 2 cost? Honestly, none of these are jumping out at me. None of those are making me think, you know what, that's what I want in an Astra list. So what I'm going to go with is, let's just say Tipu. We talked about Tipu before, let's give this a go. Nope, can't spell. We're going for astronomical this time. Okay, and of course we just want to randomise this until we find something that looks cool. I like that. That's pretty sweet. So this is the list we're going to try. We're going to try a PvP game, and then we're going to see if we can tweak this and see if we can improve it. So I've really enjoyed doing this series. Hopefully you guys have been getting good use out of it. I do think the view count has actually been fairly decent on these as well, so it seems like you're enjoying it as much as I am. But if you have any suggestions about things you'd like to see, please do let me know. And other than that, I'll see you once we get in the game. Okay, we have found ourselves a game. We're against Ralvarez 436. So level 12 player. We've had a few players around this level before, and some of them have been really good players. And given that at the moment I don't get quite as much time to play as I'd like to, it's genuinely tend to be actually pretty good games in them as well. So it doesn't seem like a complete skill mismatch or anything like that, and I'm always happy to have a more fair game. I've never pretended to be the best player in the game, I think I'd be doing a disservice to those better players if I did, but I've got a lot of experience in it, a lot of sort of time sunk into it, and you know, I really want to make sort of the most of the time I have had so far. So what have we got here? So it's a Maximus. Now I don't think we can really hide from Maximus very easily, like at all really. So the question is, can we get any lines of sight on things? And the answer to that is also not really. So we could go defensive, we could go offensive, we can play 2 units, Max and Deadeye, which I think is probably the right way to go, but seeing as we can't actually get anywhere, what I'm actually going to do is just deploy a Cinder Sphere fairly safely there. Actually, you know what, with the Maximus being else on the field, I think we're just going to deploy... Actually, Broken Vengeance doesn't do as much here. Let's go with 2 units. We do want to keep this all safe, but... we'll pop these both down and try and get a good bit of value out of this as well. So, we are going to take some hits, is the problem here. Like, we're going to take a bit of damage without necessarily being able to guarantee we get any back, but the point is we want Deadeye to be able to get onto this objective. Maximus is going to be able to keep poking on this one. Maybe we get some damage off here, and if we need to, we can try and deploy something in this direction as well. So, we might be able to just chip away a good amount of damage, and at the same time try and get a good position on the board to force them to come to us. So they're Extilior, they're going to want to anyway, but maybe we can just get the points advantage going where they have to start disputing things in the wrong direction. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so they're going to put Extilior onto this objective to make sure we're not taking that away from them. And this here is an interesting spot because the only thing we can really play is Broken Vengeance, but what we really need to do is stay away from Extilior. Okay, so Beatrice is in. This is an interesting one because they're going to have some really tough stuff to deal with. So I think we can just about get in range without maybe touching Extilior himself. So I think this is what we need to do here. Honestly, I'm not sure how we actually get Maximus to do his optimum amount of damage here. So I think we are just on the poke Extilior plan. For here, we don't have any good angles either, so I'm going to tuck into the corner here and just take the shot on Beatrice. We're going to move Maximus back over here. We're going to refresh.
We need your expertise.
We're going to come... In fact, if we put ourselves over here first, use Ozos over this direction, shoot here, and try and get as safe as possible, and pop Broken Vengeance in just here. It's going to make it hard for Beatrice to get a good angle on both of us, and we could maybe even just chain back and forward a little bit using Broken Vengeance's mechanics against themselves. So they might be able to get... yeah, they can kill our Deadeye if they need to, but we're... yeah, so this is fine. Like, we didn't have a way of getting Deadeye to safety, I don't think. Obviously, losing Deadeye this early on is a really big deal, but if they do this, they're going to hit their own unit because they have to spin. Oh no, this is not a good idea. Oh no, because it hits us. Okay. They lined up better than I thought. I'll be honest, this is very bad news. Very bad news indeed. So our opponent has played incredibly well. Oh, Max. Ralvarez is outplaying me hard right now. I don't have anything to offer in this situation. We just lost our entire board because for some reason in my brain I was picturing the Beatrice and Broken Vengeance reaction the other way round, not the way around it did. I should have just positioned him somewhere safely out the way, gone for extra refreshes next turn, and now I think we've lost this game. I genuinely do. I don't think there is an easy route back from this whatsoever. So we've lost all of our most valuable units, and we are now in a very, very dangerous position. So what we're going to need to do is find ways of just getting damage onto Extilior and not losing the game because of it. So we can get like high percentages here, but then we're just going to take a ton in return. So I think what we want to do is just move back here and maybe just poke at Beatrice a little bit. So Maximus can move up here, into the breach again, push more onto their Extilior. We've kind of, the problem is again they've got Stitchy now, and we don't really have a way of reasonably dealing with Stitchy. So Arya coming over here could be one way of just again putting that pressure on that we might need. And I actually think we're going to pop a Cinder Sphere down here. We're now behind in points, but we're trying to find ways of just winning this game through other methods. So this is very awkward to play back from. This is all a movement play. I expect them to heal Beatrice. I think that's the right choice, but if they heal Extilior, we can kill Beatrice, which is what we want at this point. Unless they play like a Dome down, but they don't have... Oh no, Dome's 4 now, isn't it? It looks like they're going for Beatrice, which I think is the right... Oh no. Okay. This actually gives us a little bit of hope. So, this is a problem, because we can't just deal with that very easily. That isn't as much of a problem. Okay, we're back in this. We've got the option of potentially shooting Beatrice. We can take her out. We're going to take some damage in the process. I do think we're going to struggle, especially given that we don't have any ways of mitigating the damage very well, and we also don't have much front line. So we really are going to struggle, but if we can get a good turnout, this could really do well for us. Like, we can double activate to kill Beatrice. We could potentially shoot, activate, and kill Broken Vengeance, which might actually be the better call, and then play something like Hit and Run somewhere else. Okay, they've got their Hit and Run there, so we just need to stay out of range of that. So we've got more than enough range here. So about here is where we want to go. So if we stillness first, and we want to get one shot here first, which is fine. We need to get... We're going to try for the risky shot here. We need to get 73% shot. Okay, that's really bad news. We're going to into the breach here. Because Maximus is fairly safe just naturally, we're going to actually take 6 damage here on purpose. It's not good, but it means that we've got a chance of killing it with Arya. Oh, she took damage. I forgot that was how it worked. Well, this is a bad choice. It worked out. It's fine. Never punished. Okay, so... Funnily enough with Hit and Run, if we just put this here, we actually protect ourselves fairly well. Because if they hit us first, we actually recover better. Where can their Hit and Run reach? Only over there, so we'll just pop ours back here slightly. Again, we're giving up points, which I didn't really want to do. But at least we're not completely out of this. We can slow down the points eventually. We're nowhere near any of their damage dealing here. Hit and Run is their only thing they've got right now. And the fact that they're healing that rather than Beatrice is great for us, because Arya can potentially kill that next turn. So we're not out of this yet. We do need to deal with Stitchy, we do need to deal with Hit and Run. The interesting thing with this position is if they hit us first, they take 4 back, we hit them, and we've killed them without them getting a chance to kill us. So this does work well for us.
I can do that.
There is also a chance, if we can get our positioning right, that we could even kill Stitchy coming up soon. So this isn't too bad. I really do want them to hit us, to be honest, is the funny thing. We could actually just hit this, move Hit and Run in here, and go for double activations to kill. Okay, those misses are good. That means we can just take a pot shot. He only has 1 shield, so our Maximus can probably get damage onto that. Maybe slow down the mission. Okay, they're just moving away. That is absolutely fine. We can actually just move our units up here and deal with that. We do need something down here to defend those, a problem. A flurry. Okay. So they've got a flurry which is strong, but they don't really have any way of implementing, like as in doing anything with it right now.
Dad taught me to share.
So I think here it might actually just be the case that we pop in here and still this. Shoot this. I think we want to deploy a ranged unit over here. So shrapnel's a good choice to sort of block these points getting scored.
It's their special day.
We're going to come over here and just take this shot. Our Hit and Run can then just come and kill this. Our Maximus is going to come and just take some shots onto their Stitchy and try and hide out a little bit. We'll grow a Cinder here just to make a bit of accuracy issues. Hit and Run can move probably just here. We don't want to get too close. We don't have anything else to deploy right now. We can into the breach though.
We need your expertise.
Which I suppose would be a mistake if I've done this. So, do you know what? I'm going to move here I'm going to stillness again.
This
Oh, we've already used it. Okay, we'll just give this then. Poke a little bit off. I think we're coming back slowly. I don't feel good. I don't feel so. Yeah, this is what we wanted here. Because what we don't want is we don't want to let Stitchy live any longer than we have. That's also great for us. They can spin here, which does do damage. It is inconvenient, but it's better than nothing. And we could even potentially look at getting a shrapnel trigger off of... they're just out of range of the shrapnel here, so that's obviously a very good play from our opponent. No good angles for their Maximus here, so they could try for it. It doesn't look like they're going to get it. Okay, good. So we can again play safe, spend a little bit of time just trying to deal with things. If they move out of the way of protecting Stitchy, we're going to use Maximus to try and finish Stitchy off in conjunction with Aria, or even just 2 Aria activations if we can get a high enough percentage there. So, again, this... Yeah, I was going to say, this is something we need to deal with, but we might be able to get something done here. It's like Stitchy's the biggest thing to deal with. This is actually a really fun game. Okay, so that's a threat because they can just fling that guy, what's his name, Flurry towards us. So if we stillness, take this shot. We can move Maximus up. Do we have a good angle here? So I'm going to take the risk for 75% and just try and be inconvenient. Okay, we missed both. That's about as bad as it gets here, so now we are in a little bit of trouble.
Heard every excuse.
Shrapnel probably just... honestly just wants to shoot here. I mean, this does a bit of AoE, but we can't really get out, so what if actually we just go here and shoot the lot? There we go, this looks good. Get the spin going. This could do a bit of damage as well, so... oh no, because it only does 2. That's very bad news for us, actually. That was a mistake.
Dad taught me to share.
So I'm going to move here. I'm going to take this shot, this shot, into the breach here, use this to kill Stitchy, move back away. We're going to deploy our Crash over here, and just deploy a Cinder Sphere just there to protect us. Honestly, this was a mistake and I'm not going to activate. So we need to find a way back towards these objectives or we're just going to lose on points is the problem here. So I don't know how we're going to do this. We've got the damage, but whether or not we can actually win the game is very different here. Yeah, this is fine. I think we might need to end up in a situation where we try and just multiple activate Crash. So we hit that, we take the hit back again, they spin. Yeah, so they can now kill one of these at least. So I don't know which one they're going to go for, but I genuinely think Crash is probably our only way out here. If we can get, say, move back here, shoot, move in, activate Crash, but then Crash is going to hit us. So what we probably need to do is move Crash first and deal with Beatrice, then move this in and reactivate, and then activate Crash again down here. Ooh, Thicket. Okay, Thicket's a problem. I do think we've lost this game. I think it's going to be too much of an issue for us to come back from here. That early turn where they took out the Deadeye and the Broken Vengeance in one turn was a huge misplay on my part. So, absolutely fine with admitting my mistakes as and when they come around, but that's definitely what that was. It was a big mistake. So, okay, they can shoot us. Okay, they've missed, that's nice. Yeah, I think we have to try and get Crash in. Maybe... ooh, they got out of range as well.
These balls are charged.
So I actually think we've probably just lost this here and now. So, funnily enough, we can hit our own character for a chance at surviving. Is the best I think I can do here. So if we pop this down, we move in here, we wreck it including hitting our own captain. There we go. We hit here. We're going to take a shot over onto... where's the best shot we can get here? 40-ish was it? 43. Take this onto Thicket. Okay, we got that. We don't have a shot here, so we're going to just into the breach.
Get in the game.
We're going to move here to take the objective. Oh no, we lost the cinder pile. Of course they took it. Well, this is a bad plan. Well, we'll just go for this for fun. We'll pop Pacify Oakley, and you know what? Let's just T-poo. T-poo's fun. I can safely say our opponent has won this game. So Ralvar is very well played. They positioned really well. They've kept the game away from us. They out-damaged us in the early turns where it really mattered, and I definitely feel like we didn't keep up very well. So the problem I'm having at the moment is trying to figure out where the improvements are going to be for this list, because the way we lost this was by playing badly. It wasn't by the units being wrong. It's by the way we played. Okay, so they're going to hit T-poo, but we're going to grow again. And now, okay, yeah, they can kill T-poo. Yeah, this is good. Like for them, this is not me. So the issue is going to be taking this objective, because there is a world in which we can win through kills, but we can't win through points at this point. So we need to find other ways of dealing with them. So this is fine if they want to do that. We'll hit them. They'll hit us back. We can fling that back up into the sky, but staying away from Extilior while contesting these objectives is going to be the hardest part of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be shooting this. I'm going to move with Astra depending on which direction we need to. Shooting to again. Okay, they've got Crash as well. So we really need to just deal with this. So that's only 63%, so we're just going to have to take that shot. Astra's going to just hop slightly back here. Shoot this. We're going to want to hop again, but we want to pacify that first. And just maybe pop back just about here. We need to get onto these objectives, or we're just going to lose on that front. So let's split up here and pop a snaring down just up there. We've used all our activations. Our opponent's got 5 crew, we've got 3. So at this point if I wasn't playing for a video, I'd be conceding now, but I want to see what our opponent can do, and if there's any... In fact, we don't even have the movement to get here without double activation anyway. We could move snaring here, move down here, activate, move again, but if they just stand on this objective, then they've won the game. So our opponent's Arya should just step back here, and that will be the game guaranteed. There are worlds in which I can survive this, but it's very, very unlikely. But if they just step back onto here, there's nothing I could do to win that game from that point. Okay, they had the movement, that's fine, we knew that anyway. And then, okay, there we go, that's the last thing we could do, so we can't hold either of these objectives. So that's GG to our opponent. So all I'm going to do on our turn is pass the turn and see what we can do. I think this one was very much misplaced. So Crash is obviously very powerful. I do think we need some more longevity, so we're going to need to think about some healing and things like that, and ways to... let's just compliment our opponent. Ways to sort of come back in the game from when we're behind. And I think... here's Flurry back again. We're just going to end the turn here, let our opponent go for it, and win the game. Well done. That was a great game. I really like... one thing I like about Moonbreaker is I'm perfectly happy losing the game when I feel like either I've played wrong or my opponent's played well. So really well done to Ralvarez there. I think, looking at this, what do I want to do? So I'm going to go back to the list building screen, see what we can tweak, because, like I said a minute ago, I think the loss there was more me playing badly than the units, but I feel like there's surely going to be something we can take. So T-poo and Crash felt very difficult to implement, but I think they might just be worth it. Oakley is fine, but we're very, very Cinder intensive as a list, because we want to be activating Deadeye, Arya, Crash all in one turn, as well as into the breach. So maybe something that doesn't quite require as much on that front. And because we are Cinder intensive, maybe Blindside Resley could be good. Speaking of which, so Snaring was fine, but I think don't know why I didn't press the other one. Maybe let's try a Drum Dancer Tarly version. We've got some really good melee units, so we've got Hit and Run, Blindside Resley, T-poo and Crash. If we can go for Drum Dancer Talali and go full combo on this, so one thing that you'll notice that with Crash's ability, it attacks all units touching and permanently gaining 1 attack and losing a health. So that means if you've got Pummel, you attack them all twice. So that would be 4 damage to each everything, going to 8 damage. So you do 8 damage to everything around you, your attack goes up to 5, then you attack with a regular attack, that's 10 damage, so that's 18 damage already. If you then get the refresh activation from Astra, so that 18 becomes 28 with the attack, or if you've even got enough Cinder to go in again, you get another, you go up to 28 first, and then you'd get another 12, so you go up to 30 damage. It's ridiculous, but it might just work out. I think with this, Tipu is a bit too cute, and I think because we do want that longevity, and we're trying to spend our Cinder, Stitchy can actually be good for that situation if we're trying to trigger Blindsider Esley. Also, Drum Dancer Esley, you just use 3 Cinder to place it onto Blindsider Esley. You activate, so you deal, what this is going to be, 12 damage, use this again, activate for another 12. We could have a little combo in there, so that's what we're going to be looking at for next time. I've really enjoyed this, hopefully you have too. If you have, please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It means the most to me out of anything you can do. Comment shortly behind that as well, because I love seeing everyone comment on the regular, all the time on the regular videos. It amazes me how many comments we actually get. It's very rare that I get a video without any comments, and I try to reply to every single one of them. And then other than that, you can like the videos, you can join us on Patreon, anything you do to support the channel is so much appreciated. But for now, thank you for watching, and most importantly, have a good day.